it's a way of being in the world that we're talking about. That's what the arts are about, and that's why the relation between the arts and life as a whole are simply aspects of the same thing. And um, I love uh, the idea that you're carrying poetry into the zoos now. I don't know what the animals will make of the poems, but we don't, there's a lot that we don't know. On the last day of the world, I would want to plant a tree. What for? Not for the fruit. The tree that bears the fruit is not the one that was planted. I want the tree that stands in the earth for the first time, with the sun already going down and the water touching its roots in the earth full of the dead, and the clouds passing one by one over its leaves. That's inexplicable, and I think, uh, I think, that's marvelous. How do you explain any poem? People say I don't read poetry because I don't understand it. And I think that's because you're coming at it from the wrong end. Children don't skip rope because they understand it. They skip rope because they want to skip rope. They, uh, when you finish listening to one of the late Schubert sonatas, you don't understand it. That's not why you listen to it. When you do anything that you love doing, you don't do it because you understand it. Understanding is something that comes afterwards when you can attach words to it and they never come close to it, and all those things are happening. But when you look at Leonardo's Lady with an Ermine, do you understand it? When you look at Vermeer's girl pouring milk from a pitcher, do you understand the milk from the pitcher? I don't think so. We don't go back to read poetry because we understand it. We go back to it because we love it and because we hear it. We hear it, and it enters into us. And sometimes, if we're lucky, and one of the marvelous things that I've been hearing in the last few hours here about is your programs with children, and children memorizing things, children loving to memorize things, children being connected with poetry from the very beginning and waking up to it. They're learning, they're picking up things that are going to be part of them for the whole of their lives. You are doing something that is so valuable that even you don't understand how valuable it is. You can't, because it will survive you, and it's just wonderful. I'm just surprised day by day by the way human beings are behaving now. I know we've always done that to some degree, but it seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. The viciousness and the negativity and the destructiveness and the indifference to what we're doing, it seems to me to be getting worse all the time. And I think that it's not just even the destruction we're doing to the world and to others, it's what we're doing to ourselves. And I don't know how to say it without seeming to be preaching about it, but I think it seems to me, I don't think anybody's going to pay any attention. I don't think I'm going to change anybody's way of behaving. But the idea of never having bothered to say anything about it seems to me intolerable too. I want to try to say something about that, and saying what I think the connection is. That the great thing that really distinguishes our species, that we can love and respect about humankind, is not how much smarter than the whales we are, because we may not be smarter than the whales, or how wonderful our language is, because even language is not something unique to us. The amoebas communicate with each other, or there wouldn't be amoebas around. Life has always been about communication. That's always been there in one form or another. But what we have come to, not only us, we're not the only species that have it, but we're the only species in whom it has developed and taken a position of primacy, is the imagination, the ability to recognize that in the suffering of people dying of AIDS in Africa, or of the whales dying of starvation in the Pacific Ocean, or of any of the species that are being snuffed out, we are not exempt from that. We are part of it. That suffering is our suffering. That is our world that they're leaving. And out of that imagination come, on the one hand, compassion, on the other hand, the arts. And they're all connected to each other. And that the arts somehow is allowing us, are reminding us of our kinship with all other life, and with the mortality of other life, the ephemeral precious nature of every other form of life.